everybody, welcome to Karen Sizzle and Spice. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to make a fabulous barbecue chicken pizza. I love that with chicken, there's like a million ways to make it. I'll never run out of ways to show you how to make chicken. And if you're looking to make the perfectly roast chicken breast, check out my video number 32 and you'll find all the secrets to making the perfect roast chicken. Whenever I do that, and I love roast chicken, I always make a couple extra chicken breasts so that I can do other recipes with it. So today for this barbecue chicken pizza, I'll need one cooked chicken breast. I'm going to use a large onion and you'll see why it's so large. I'm going to use a red bell pepper, half of the red bell pepper. I'll be using some butter, and I will be using some Colby Jack cheese. My favorite barbecue sauce is Sweet Baby Ray's, so we're going to use that. And we'll need 2 packages of crescents and some mozzarella cheese. And I love mozzarella steak seasoning, and it sounds funny, but I use it on all sorts of things, not only steak. So let me show you how we'll get this one started. Hey you guys, can you do me a favor please and make sure you're subscribed to my channel here? Because in order for me to have a successful YouTube channel and to continue doing these video recipes for you, I need subscribers. It's simple to do. If you're on your phone, turn your phone sideways, and in the bottom right corner there's a little red box. Just click on it to subscribe. You'll know you're subscribed when that subscribe symbol underneath my video turns from red to gray. That means you're subscribed. And share these videos, because you know if you like them, your friends are going to like them too. Don't be stingy. Share. To get this recipe going, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to caramelize onion. That's why I'm using a large onion, because they shrink a lot when they caramelize. If you've never had caramelized onions, you've got to try this. They go to a whole new level of flavor and sweetness. They're incredible. So I'm going to do that. But you know what? Let's talk about knives for just a minute. This is my Rachael Ray knife, which I love. It's good for you to find a knife that you love. This particular one is difficult to find, but I will post other Rachael Ray knives that I know are just as great. It's got this really great firm rubber handle that I love. You never feel like you're going to lose control of it. And you've got to have a sharpener for your knife too. I like to sharpen it just about every single time I use it to keep my knife nice and sharp. And you know what? Tell me something. How many of you own or have owned a butcher block for your knives? I know I have. But I changed that a couple years ago. You know why? When you think about it, it just makes sense. Can you even imagine the germs that are in that butcher block from pushing those knives in and out? The kids are doing the dishes for you, or the husband, they haven't cleaned it well. They're pushing it in there with food on it. I much prefer an open air wall magnet for my knives. These are fabulous, they're inexpensive, and they look great too. You can see I've got my Cuisinart knives on here I got for a Christmas gift. Kind of love the colorfulness of them. But I will leave the link for that magnet on my video description. Just click on the title of the video, scroll down, and you'll always see all my most popular kitchen gadgets that I use. I'll get this onion started and I'll be right back. So I have peeled my onion and I'm just cutting it into slices. I cut it into 4/4. And then I'm slicing it here. I don't want this chopped for the caramelized onions. I want them to be longer pieces of onion. I've got in a shallow pan here, I've put in 4 tablespoons of butter. And I'm gonna transfer my onions right into the pan here if you wanna follow me over. And I've started out with the burner at a medium heat. But as soon as I get all these onions in here, I'm gonna turn it down a little lower. The trick to making caramelized onions is low and slow. You have to be patient with them. These might take, and I'll let you know at the end. Sometimes I don't pay attention to how long things take unless I'm doing my videos here. But it could take up to about half an hour for these to get perfectly brown and caramelized. It might sound like a lot of trouble, but you'll be so glad that you've done it, because the flavor is like no other, really. Getting the rest of these onions in here. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper. And as the onions start to caramelize, feel free to add more butter. Is there ever too much butter in anything? Butter makes everything better. Of that, I am sure. So now that this is going pretty well, I'm just going to turn it down a little bit, and I'm going to get my other ingredients ready to go. Okay, the next step is to get my crescent rolls ready, and that's right, I said crescent rolls. I don't bother a lot with pizza crust, homemade or otherwise. I love crescent rolls to make my pizza. It comes out so buttery and flaky and crispy. It's perfect. And I do love doing that too, don't you? So on this baking sheet, first of all, I'm going to use a little bit of spray pan because I don't want anything to stick. And then I'm going to spread these crescent rolls out on my large cookie sheet. Okay. Oh, those onions simmering behind me. They smell divine. I love that smell. Okay, we're gonna need 2 of these. Love doing that. And I'm just gonna spread all these out nice and even. I'm gonna push them up around the edges to make a nice edge to the crust. And I'll be right back when I've got that all straightened out. You know what, you do have to be patient with this step. It did take me a few minutes to get this nice and smooth. You want to make sure that all the seams are pressed together so it doesn't come apart in the oven. But I've got a nice, even, thin layer here now. So we're going to poke the heck out of this crust with a fork. This will prevent it from puffing up in the oven. You'll have a nice, crispy, thin crust this way. I think once you try this for pizza crust, you may never go back to a regular pizza crust. It's just delicious. Okay, this is gonna go in my oven, right in the middle of the oven, at 375 for about 10 to 15 minutes, just until the edges start to get nice and golden brown. And I'll be right back with the next step. Okay, these onions have been sauteing here for about 15 minutes now. I just wanted to show you how they're starting to soften and the edges are starting to get just a little bit brown. Another 15 minutes or so and these things will be completely brown. And like I said, they'll be shrunken a lot. So you want to make much more than you think you would for a recipe. And you know what, if I have too many of these today, what the heck, I will just put them aside and I'll use them on another recipe on another day. I'm just pulling all this beautiful chicken off of this humongous chicken breast that I had roasted. I'm taking the skin off. The skin wouldn't taste good on the pizza. And you can see I'm using my garbage bowl here. This Rachel Ray garbage bowl comes in so many colors. I love this thing. I'm up to 4 now. I'm not sure how big my collection will get, but they're terrific. They're like my everything bowl. There's a rubber grip at the bottom. Once you put it in place on your counter, it ain't moving. So I'm just going to cut all this chicken into bite-sized pieces, getting all my mise en place ready to throw on top of this delicious pizza. You guys are going to love this. You know what, too? This is a very cost-effective, family-friendly meal. You're using 1 piece of chicken on here, and the rest of the ingredients are really not expensive. A great family meal. If you make it on your large cookie sheets, this would probably feed, easy 6 people. And I'll be back. Now that I've got my chicken all chopped up, I'm just chopping up my red bell pepper. And I will pre-cook this a little bit because once we get that chicken pizza in the oven, it's only going to take about 10 minutes for everything to melt and to marry. So I'd like these peppers a little bit softer. So I'm going to cook them for a few minutes on the stovetop. So I'm going to get this red bell pepper into a little saute pan. Got the cutest little saute pan here. Look at how cute it is. I'm just gonna let these cook stovetop here for probably about 3 minutes. If you could only smell my kitchen, you guys, it's like heavenly in here. And look at these caramelized onions. They're almost ready to go. They've been in here about 25 minutes. I just want that brown color to even out a bit, so that the white parts that you see now, everything will be brown. So we'll give it a few more minutes and I'll be back to show you what it looks like then. Okay, this crust is cooked perfectly. I left it in the oven for about 15 minutes. You can see how golden brown it is. I'm gonna just put it aside here and get the rest of the toppings ready to go. We'll be back. I'm getting excited. I've got almost all my mise en place ready to go, everything to throw on top of this pizza. I'm excited because Ed's never tasted this before. I think he's gonna love it. So I've got everything ready to go here, my cheese, my caramelized onions, my bell pepper, my chicken. I'm just gonna grate this mozzarella because I do like it better than the grated mozzarella that you buy in a package. I mean, in a pinch, I buy that, but this just melts so much better. It's so much nicer. So I will be right back once I get this all grated up here. This crust is perfect. You could almost lift the whole thing right off the tray here. Just perfectly crispy. So we're gonna start this with my favorite barbecue sauce, Sweet Baby Ray's. You can use any kind you like, but I strongly recommend this one. It's just so delicious. Has some sweetness to it. Love it. And I'm not gonna be real shy about it. And I'm gonna use my brush here to smooth it over the whole crust. Why don't you come a little closer, Ed, as I build this deliciousness. Ugh, I love the smell of this. Yum, yum. All right, I think that's good. Next, I'm gonna layer on my Colby Jack cheese. And I'm not gonna overdo it. I'm not gonna overlap. I think that about, let's see, 6, maybe 7 pieces will be good here. Next, I'm going to put on my chicken, which I've cut up nice and small. Just gonna sprinkle it all over the top here. Oh, is it lunchtime yet? This looks so good. And this is just one large chicken breast. This is what I'm talking about when I tell you this is cost-effective, family-friendly kind of meal. One piece of chicken, and you've got enough for this pizza. You got to buy the chicken breast when you see it on sale. I stock up my freezer when that happens, so I've always got it in the freezer. Oh yeah, this looks incredible. Now I'm gonna put on these beautiful caramelized onions. Oh yeah. You can't even believe how sweet they are for an onion. Oh yeah. My mouth is watering for this one. Oh, good. Alrighty. And if you find that onion is too much, you can always save it for another meal. These taste great on hamburgers. There's so many uses for these caramelized onions. Let's see. Okay, then I'm gonna put on my red bell pepper that I pre-cooked a little bit just to soften it a bit. Red bell pepper is really nice and sweet. It's my favorite bell pepper. What do you think, guys? Does this look fabulous or what? Alrighty. And the last layer will be this mozzarella that I grated up. And I am never shy with the mozzarella. Oh my gosh. This is colorful, beautiful. You know how I always say, you eat with your eyes first. This is a gorgeous pizza, just gorgeous. This will go back in the oven at 375 for about 10 to 15 minutes, just until everything is married and melted. It's raining mozzarella. Yeah. Big chunks, no problem. Did I cut too much mozzarella? I don't think so. Alrighty. And last but not least, I'm gonna put my mozzarella steak seasoning on top of this pizza. Like I told you guys, it might sound kind of funny, but if you've never used this, you really should try it. It tastes great on so many things. It gives it great, great flavor. Sprinkle this nice and heavily. And I'm gonna put this right into the oven at 375. And we will check back in 10 minutes to see how it looks. It's time to taste. Ed, come on in. It's time.
Okay.
Our favorite time of the video. Look
All
at
right.
this. Oh, look at that cheese.
Yeah.
There you go. There's one for you and one for me. If you guys could only smell it in my kitchen here, it smells like heaven.
It does.
Try it. Oh God, this looks so good. Oh my God.
It's delicious.
The crust is so crunchy, just as good as any pizza crust I've ever had. The mozzarella is so gooey, those caramelized onions, such a great sweetness.
You know, the two pizza places that we get pizza from, they're going to lose a lot of money this year because this is the only pizza I want to eat from now on.
It's so good. I took a really
It
big
is
bite.
delicious.
You guys will be a rock star in your kitchen when you make this for your family and friends. Thanks so much for visiting my channel today. Make sure you come back often. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.